Don't you think like that? I will love you endlessly. If you don't believe in me, don't you be like that? I will love you forever. If you don't believe in me, yeah. Don't you think like that? I will love you endlessly.
Right back into things with the map pick of Aurora now after a dominating, even if slightly penduluming, first map. Aurora looking to close it out in 2MT time, joined by Michael Yumikasi as we continue on with the ESL Challenger Melbourne European Qualifier.
Ancient started out with sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe not. And I'd like to see someone really assert themselves and make these rounds competitive at the very least. We need to have a little bit of back and forth. It feels like we have had no call and response aside from these long streaks. Maybe Anubis can be different. See Aurora starting off with a very divided set of attention on the defense. 2-1-2 split. And so Apeks, if they decide to go for a crunch through middle, Lackey would be completely isolated. It would actually leave the remaining Aurora players in a bad spot, but Lackey actually pushes in, finds a kill, and can back himself away, but still challenging. He got information as well that that bomb was maybe spotted.
Might be Mr. Lonely, but he is convicting down the enemy team. Jacob feels the pain early on again. Obviously, one of the players who was not off to a hot start at all. Jacob was 0-8 at one point, but Stiko right here will at least make it so rounds cannot be as clean. Stiko doubling up in a moment of crucial firepower changes. Nice to see.
Yeah, an important set of duels as well, punishing an extremities play and as well siphoning off the rotate. So 3 more players come back in for Aurora Gaming, but they don't have kits, they don't have util. They have to just brute force their way back in.
Oh, what a shot coming out on the Latic. No brute forcing here, not today. Zelda and Kenzie have got no chance of coming back in onto the bomb site. Kenzie good for the one, but no kit either. Honestly, at this stage, might as well just back off and see what you can do to say. That is a lovely recovery from Stiko coming through with a quick double.
Yeah, good responses as well for both teams. You know, after receiving some pressure in middle, then we start to see Aurora bring 2 more players, one away from B, one away from A, to reinforce that situation. And as they were doing that, that's when Stiko and one other teammate rerouted over towards B main to find that extremities player, the last man standing on the B bomb site. And that just allowed Stiko to continue rolling in. Apeks collecting themselves over on that B site. Very successful. So, might be in for a little bit more mind games between these two. Constantly reacting to one another. Someone's bound to slip up. This time it was Aurora.
Oh! Knock. Thought that was Jacob for a second. Shot so pretty you'd think it was an egg.
Yeah.
But
could have been either of them, really.
yeah. Disadvantage of having no head armor, I suppose. Speaking of disadvantages, have you heard of the disadvantages of having no heads, Michael?
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah. I think Apeks is trying to introduce that to Aurora right now.
Can live without a kidney, but not without a head.
Yeah.
Well, good though.
Fortunately for Aurora, they do have the head of the team alive. When Lucky, unfortunately, I don't think that matters.
Yeah, this round was a done deal. Once they found entry kills, suddenly Aurora were reacting, and Apeks had just basically established their default. Weren't going to let this one slip out of hand. So cool, being able to cover Anubis at different periods. You know, when it first came onto the competitive table. A little scrappy, a little execute heavy in places as well, where it didn't make sense. Now I think we're getting a nice little middle ground between teams having, you know, cool little niche utility, nade stacks, you know, aggressive HEs, things that can have some influence on the later rounds. We're starting to see that come to the foray a little bit more. I was able to cover a big academy game where, you know, Big very much known for their utility usage. The academy team very much the same. They had like 5 different HE nade stacks around the map that they implemented at different portions of the game, which was very cool to see. Didn't always find themselves into a kill, but they got a couple at least that make it so you playing certain spots can be very difficult. You know, double doors in middle, or playing just outside of dark or under on B. Those were good targets to hit. We've seen a very meta HE as well from the A bomb site over to T steps that I imagine we'll be able to.
One of the more annoying nades to deal with. Speaking of annoying, Lackey being a nuisance. I'd say CZ and Kevlar are put to good work.
And a Molotov into the canals that wasn't intended there from JL. The science doesn't check out, but Lackey vacated, and Nork will take elsewhere. Lackey now dealt with, but Nork overwhelmed, so a rifle will be recovered nonetheless. 3 on 3. Kixen's quickly skirting away over towards the A site because they found Lackey and he's supposed to be the sole man, but they're taking a risk that nobody else is rotated in. That's because Jacob's taken all this room and they're comfortable with the play to be. Jacob does go down, so suddenly this round is called back into question. They don't have armor, but it's still a 2-on-2 with recovered weapons. All they have to do is be sharp.
It'll be difficult to get to the bomb site in time, but yeah, a couple of good shots and you never know what could actually end up going the other way. I think Apeks should be maybe more concerned about losing all of their weapons, to be honest, and actually losing out the round at this stage, because you know we already saw their money being reset at one point or the other. Question is, what is the plan going to be right here now? Yeah, no one really looking to fight. CTs would rather not go hunting and will just keep their weaponry.
Yeah, it obviously did take them a while to get to the site, but there was time to make a play back in for the retake, but wanted to try not to get caught out by any forward positions. Apeks was very defensive instead, and Aurora will just take those weapons forward. Didn't commit. They had a buy around the corner anyway. What are you even saving for? But floating some cash, at least on Kenzie and Selter, for this full buy. That's where I want to see the full extent of how both these teams default. Smoke at A. Oh, actually, yeah, okay. Wasn't sure if I was going to stay a little deeper and somehow be a lurk smoke. I don't think that's quite the lineup they're looking for either. Stigo looked a little caught off by it. Noise made there from jail, dropping into the canals. That latter will love that information, but cannot work off of it. We'll at least keep Kenzie on guard, though.
Gel Force back right now, and I have to say, missed opportunity from the AWP is going to be something that I'm really hoping can be rectified later on. It feels like on middle there's so few chances given up by the T side. If you're looking at how traditionally this default works out with how many flashes and the like are used early on. Kenzie though, holding down the line, in from the B connectors, good for the one, double peek right outwards as well, pre-programmed like nothing else. This is beautiful, synchronized dancing in those peaks coming through.
Yeah, basically everyone contributing bar Selter, and he's not even on the right side of the map for it, so great stuff there from Aurora holding. Apeks just trying to crunch and being put through the meat grinder instead. Can move in with another buy here, Apeks, but it's not going to be the best. Will subject himself. Oh, actually, no, there was an AK dropped on the floor. So he's going to have to go down to a Mac 10 or something of the sort. But last buy in the tank here for Apeks before Aurora can start to have easier rounds ahead. Got to be so careful about how you approach the water. Very much velocity based, whether or not you make a splash. Mechanic that I've talked about before, but it's something that people have to really familiarize themselves with. This is deep enough.
I'm just happy that we don't have to deal with like annoying water Schonberg, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, God, that was fixed before this map came out.
Yes, that would have been nightmarish. Draco. I'd actually have a window over here because the spam earlier on to go. Could be caught out. Jacob, window found, but in his attempts to crash right through it, would realize it is reinforced and break his neck instead. Latte hoping to reinforce the A bomb side as well. Kixen's demise has been introduced to him, and he will be having a nice little chat with it for a while longer. 5 on 3 as Apeks trying to group up to the A bomb site. At least that should be the plan to come in, but the problem is a bit more awkward, and the spam from Selter as well as beautifully positioned. Lackey not one to let go of middle, not for a second.
Yeah, Latic as well, ready for the peek there from Stiko, so just great stuff. Holding down middle, Latic being able to bounce between helping mid and finding angles on A. Puts Apeks down to pistols. I think there was a small gap in the smoke there for Selter. You know, just a tiny, small amount that he could see, because his timing on that spam was impeccable. I think he also saw the cross for Stiko, but didn't get full confirmation. So the streaks are smaller this time.
Fortunately. I don't want to see a one-sided game even if it is two-sided.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, these rounds have been pretty one-sided so far from the Aurora side. It seems like we might just end up 3 rounds in a row with no casualties. Jacob takes away the dream of that at the very least, but single casualties, hardly much better.
Yeah, it's no problem. They're building bank here on Aurora. Kind of just shy of 10k came into this round with that amount, but reinvesting into not only utility, but then dropping a weapon over. Nice to see them get a handle on this CT side. Seen a lot of maps move a little bit more T-sided. People have been saying Anubis very much a map that you're expected to do much better on T than CT. And I'd be inclined to agree. A lot of great spawn nades in areas, but if you don't, then things get ugly. JL, 1 kill straight through the throat. Capitalized right back. He pushed forward. Jacob had no idea. He was pulling nades, hoping to find him on the fallback. Instead, he's in his face.
He's just looking unstoppable right now. Nocto will finally put him down. Even so, the advantages he's found are just massive. Flashbang from Norway to allow Latic to try and move forward. The problem is he's ended up flashing himself as he peeks out. Norway will still recover. And Latic's covering off his second cross. JL's demise drops the bomb. Knock all alone. Corner rounded. Norway in the back he goes. And 4th round in a row now. Aurora not letting go of the pedal whatsoever. They're looking so comfortable.
Yeah, great kills over on B, but that round is solely in the hands of the action that Lackey takes. It is so ridiculous. The smoke is imperfect for bridge control, and he pushes himself through that smoke into window to find the first kill, and then also just happens to find Jacob with his nades pulled in middle. Like, that is a ridiculously... It feels like a low percentage play to make. But he got both of those kills, and then suddenly Aurora were right back into it. Because losing JL so quickly, or losing, sorry, under so quickly because of JL's entry kill, is almost a nightmare scenario if you're going to be 2-1-2 split like they've been playing here on the Aurora side. But somehow they're able to get it together, courtesy the in-game leader. That's going to be such a tilting round to lose as well.
All those situations where you're thinking, hey, everything's running fine for us and whatnot, but then just the one annoying old play coming through, pushing through the smoke. How are you ever going to be expecting that in a situation where he's already revealed his position and gotten a kill? But I have to wait to see what the adjustment is going to be. I do believe this is a technical, not a tactical, but I'm sure we will have confirmation of that very soon as well.
Yeah, we'd have a timer if it was tactical, so... It all makes sense. Don't know what's happened. You know, I've talked about this before, but we're in an age now where there's a million things that you can charge. You know, wireless headsets, wireless mice. Some people do wireless keyboards. That's not for me, but you know, there's different people out there. I get it. You maybe, I don't know, use it with your TV or something.
Well, listen, this is an old school problem, Michael. You trying to be high tech over here? Actually, it's just a delivery at the door, apparently.
Oh,
so.
well, okay.
Wireless delivery. Hey.
Yeah.
But I think for a while right now. But hey, feels like we've been trying for the opposite now. Delivery drones. Hey, are there delivery drones in the UK, Michael?
Not that I've seen. I'm sure they're supported somewhere in the UK, but not for me. I get a dude. He shows up at the door, and he sometimes just doesn't even find the door. So
sounds a lot like a drone to me.
Well, you know, if it knows what it looks like from above, then I feel like the drone's right on top of it.
I remember when I first heard about delivery drones, my first question was, wait, so they just manually operated? So one guy's just operating a fleet of drones, or are they automated? And I feel like I still don't know the answer to that question, I'll be honest. But in my head, I much prefer the single man on a mission with 100 drones delivering forward, just dodging out air traffic. There's a bird coming on drone 1, but no, eagle strike on drone 3. Quick, dive out on drone 5. What's gonna happen?
Man. I don't think anyone's got the attention span to make that work. I'll be honest. If you're gonna pay a dude to operate one drone as well, it's just like when you just have him deliver it anyway. Maybe the van's
100.
too expensive.
Oh gosh.
Of course, our first round here of the ESL Challenger Melbourne close qualifiers. We were talking a bit earlier about there are several teams that have already made their way through. Some of them invited, some of them having to qualify, and I mean, given that the European competition and these teams are all in loads of them are in rebuilding or sort of trying to take that next step up or level themselves up in some significant way with a roster move. There is, you were talking about it earlier, there's a good chance you would come in as a favorite. It's kind of a vulnerable pool of teams, and some of them have looked good. I think Complexity is a name that jumps out on the screen and think they did quite well in their recent performances. I think also Kato as well as ESL Pro League. So the people are paying attention to these teams, but at the same time, if you dominate through the EU close qualifiers, you probably will still be able to have people side with you. That gets you now over, delivery man sent home. Apeks hoping that they can instantly pop again on pistols and they'll find an opening kill, but there's a counter right from Kenzie.
Kenzie needs to be sure his bullets don't just run out, but no, he's right there to assist and support. So to Chico, Latte, careful now. He's being chased down. JL could be a real nuisance, but good readjustment. M4 to go forward, not ready. We gunned right down. Flashbang in as well to try and retake in back to spawn. And although they've completely given up the B-bomb side, the A destination is still one that Apeks are committed to.
Yeah, very spread for this attack. But after that first, thought soon the dominoes might fall. Some decent tag damage being done to a couple of players, one of which will still be in the path of this A site. Nori 1 kill so far, but the Eagle, if it gets too close, or we'll find both. Not a single bit of damage being being received rather in response. And so Aurora maintain this form. 5 straight. It's looking good.
Adjustment from Apeks has to be now, and I'm really hoping that they're able to maybe fight in for mid a little bit earlier on. Lucky's been having such a great game so far that if you're able to shut him down, that'd be a great advantage. Problem is that between him and Latex, players have been switching up fairly often. Lucky's been playing more deep mid side more often than not, and just the difference between an AWP and a rifle makes the flashbang protocol so much more tricky to sort of figure out between each other.
They're hovering for a potential play there for Lackey. Also a smoke in underpass. A lot of vulnerabilities with sitting T steps. You can get naded, get peeked in. There's aggressive smoke that CTs can throw as well from spawn. Probably down another one there for Lackey. There's a smoke to respawn. They should know that he's somewhat close to the game. So close, kicks and knock, both hit the deck. And Jacob could have been the next one to fall. He had the bomb, and that will be spotted at the very least here for Aurora. Lackey maintains his form.
JL in the meanwhile creeping in. Could have maybe even tried to find a timing on Kenzie. There's only the AWP ahead to actually take him down, but obviously pushing through the smoke is tantamount to suicide in most cases. Kenzie, great covering position. Should be good for the freebie initially, even backs off and fades away. This will be a round which Apeks ends up forfeiting unless they've got some crazy entries and no madness will ensue. None whatsoever.
Perfectly played. And it is actually just so well done. I think because he's playing such a defensive angle through CT and, this off angle that's hard to clear from dark, that there has to be somebody on platform committed to the site with him, but they come out clearing for it. and there's nobody there. Latic was deeper temple side, and Apeks don't read it. A half commitment, SMGs and pistols alike. They threw a Molotov themselves. They're running through it. This is a crazy play, one in which Kenzie won't get caught out by too heavily. There's a counter Molotov from CTs, and that bomb exposed. Nori has all the information he needs. The rest of the team is en route. And Nori won't be all that necessary. Does some damage, keeps them at bay, but his teammates coming to collect the kills. I don't know why they threw the molly B-main and then just ran through it. That was a little confusing.
Listen, if the delivery man came, he already brought you food, right? Stop trying to cook on the server.
Could have been anything.
Yes, but... Mate, they're looking... This is looking
Could
upsetting.
have been a plant. Could have been clothes. Could have been tech.
It clearly wasn't a plant, Michael. We didn't have a plant pretty much all game long ever since the first 3 rounds.
Ever since they won these 3 rounds, they haven't had a plan at all. Maybe that's why they needed to deliver. If you're not going to find it in the server, outsource.
Gosh, that makes sense. That makes sense, actually. Wow. Smart thinking, man. Smart thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you got there first. You know, I just connected the final dot.
And that's the dot that Apeks has been missing out. Unfortunately, they also don't have the first, second, third, or fourth one. So really not quite sure what exactly they're trying to draw out. But hopefully they can figure it out as it goes on. Aurora, 8 in a row was what we saw on Ancient. And I have a feeling that if Latic is hitting shots like that early on into the round, well, we might be glad to replicate that feat.
They have to find a response to this middle aggression. It's been too many rounds now where Aurora have been able to shut down a mid play either by Lackey's actions or now with Latic being with the orb. It's just ridiculous to lose so many kills like it. And that's maybe why they tried to before with 3 players. Only there will be 1 kill in response, but they're suspicious that orb is still hovering, and they'd be right in that assumption. They can counter. If they can find a weakness, this would be great. And them rerouting A does seem to be like the correct answer. Zelter has given up his spot just to clear middle, and that leaves A vulnerable.
A vulnerability that is likely soon to be exploited. However, that being said, Latic by that time might be allowed to come back over, and if they do not have the smokes necessary to keep him away, that mid Molotov will be everything. Bombs being dropped. Lackey just needs one more. Where will he be facing out towards? Fountain is, of course, where Knock is. He will not be conceding position. Selter, in the meanwhile, as a dead man kicks in, inaugurates a scoreboard with his first kill, and that might be the first gun run that Apeks can actually bring together as well. Latic live and right, double ping, lined up, ready to go. JL trades it out, still 2-on-2, and he's lost most of his life. Drops down, position forfeited, but the A1 on the other side wants to take point. Latic with the tech 9 as well, trying to close the distance as he moves through the smoke. JL running out of bullets, and Gixon reveals position, but he's down inside it. Kenzie is good for both. He's got the kid as well. This is another defuse going through 8 in a row all over again, and Kenzie can even move back to recover the AWP.
That is so scary as well there for Apeks. As soon as they realize that AWP is in proximity, they have nothing to really address it. They had a secondary Molotov, but that's not utilized in the right spot. And so Latic just held this sight line, and he gets the 2 kills that he needs to. Really patient play as well. You know, didn't overpeak, didn't force the issue, waited for his teammates to come, and eventually Apeks peek into him. It might have not been a missed Molotov, but given his positioning, it is a miss. You know, that there is another angle that Molotov could have been designed for, but there was actually nobody on the site, so it's perfect. And now the play into lower is also just as good. Aurora changing the pace up, changing how they've been playing out on the defense, and while Latic misses, Nori might just be teed up for more success.
Is being flanked in upon, but he doesn't realize the second player's presence. Problem is, for Aurora, they've already lost out the advantage, and massively so, in trying to press the 4v2. Latic now is the solitary defender of this B-bomb side, a defense that he is unlikely going to be able to offer up alone. Flashbang forward will reveal his position as well. Adjustment. Not quite landing, but Lackey will at least close the distance and kicks in. He's going to give up all the information in his attempt to try and go back. Lackey's just going to take the peek forward. 9th now in a row. Michael, all I have to say is I'm going to take it back to a point you raised. You need to find a way to stop this mid-fight from working out against them.
Yeah, as soon as they don't throw utility, Lackey just pushes it. Like, that's all he needs to see. That's all he needs to hear. Because they have that information as well with presence outside of B. You know, this double lower push. They're doing more than just finding kills. They can hear the acceleration through B main. So, a vulnerability. Lackey has been a fantastic response in the rounds that have been close.
Lackey's been taking some sort of 1980s aerobics class or something. All he's saying is push it, push it, push it, push it.
And he's pushing it real good.
Yeah.
Little winky face. Dramatic, but you won't be the one that takes the first peek. Or he might have to close one eye and get open. Oh, bomb dropped right at his feet, and Kenzie's right there with him. So no success again. They try to burst into B, but it's the same old result. Flawless stuff and capped money here for Latic. They don't have to worry about funds too much on the Aurora side. This whole half, aside from losing the pistol and the opening 3 rounds, really.
Shallow bracket.
It's looking likely. Now, while I'm not fully off the Apeks train, they just need to find a solution to this. Right now, Anubis is not treating them well. You know, I think even on Ancient, there were more arguments to be made about some of the rounds that they lost. You know, some holes, some good chances of missing out on shots. They're just getting shut down, even if the setup looks good, they're just finding basically no frags. Ooh, good damage. It is reciprocated.
Second you see Lackey forfeit that Molotov, you know he's thinking about pushing again. Why don't you be the responsible one for once?
Yep.
I am not the designated driver for tonight.
Here, take what I have. I'm going hunting. Zelter, oh my god, the timing might just work out for him as well.
No.
Stiko just gave it up.
Oh, Lackey even find Jacob! Zelter now in the back lines! Ay, this is turning out to be a disaster. Tragedy, absolutely cataclysmic.
Well, saving grace is that Nox through to A. Problem is, Kickson may not be able to join him. Lackey now cut him off, but unprepared for the fight, and he was already low, so Kickson only needs a couple of bullets to finish him off. Plant can come through, and with Nok going for a wrap around, this might be the play that saves this round here for Apeks. No one committing through spawn, and they are somewhat privy to the idea of it, but Nok doesn't commit. Worried that Kickson might get overwhelmed and will use his smoke to help delay.
So the spam is working out for them. The flashbang is great. Kickson's death is confirmed. Nox's position as well, but now a one-on-one position where he has a chance, but a chance that is squandered. Apeks. This time the one-on-ones are not going their way. 11th round secured. There is nowhere to go but up for this Aurora squad.
I mean, a really nice swing at it, a nice attempt, and we saw the last time as well, there was a retake on this A-bomb site. Aurora were down to that last man standing. I think it was Norway that brought it over the line last time, but yeah, just not able to convert these post plants. That one, a very difficult one to do, you know, 2-on-4, no small feat. But it almost felt like Apeks needed a round like that to suddenly feel like they're back in this game. Double push, this time no smoke to greet them, and right now Stiko's separated. The Molotov that's down means that Nok cannot be holding his behind, and an additional smoke, they could threaten a deep push. Stiko, fortunately, is privy to the idea. Nok must relay that information, and the flick will not connect, but that's the early aggression for Aurora punished.
No, Jacob's down Lackey as well. Not just the early aggression, but it seems like Hayden might at least find one more round towards the end of things, but that has to be not actually closing in upon Stiko. What a shot from him. A bomb site's been completely left open. Last Norway Also going to be caught out as well. That's a good for one. Will at least put up a fight for himself. Flashbang to his own face. Not ideal, but has moved right past. Gets an opportunity. JL is gone. Switches that for the AK. Flashbang through the smoke. Even threatens it with a jump. But Stiko's turned around and will still save it all. Fourth secured, but off to a break as we figure out whether Apeks has a chance in this second half.
If you only believe in me, don't you be like that? I will love you forever. If you believe in me, don't you think like that?
The first half backed with action, but backed with Aurora's action mostly. Apeks do manage to get a bite in towards the very end, but I don't know if a bite will suffice.
Yeah, 11 straight does feel pretty rough to be on the receiving end of, but some signs of life, and maybe they can pick up the pieces. Aurora very quick though with this B play through Canal. Nork gonna have to get aggressive and will succeed. Norley gone and Maki over well done. Nork does find a counter kill, but a Molotov now keeping him away from the B site. Kixon also cut off, so they'll hold a man advantage while this bomb goes down.
Kenzie's trying to hold inside the smoke and try and phase it out. In the meanwhile, Celta on the fade back will connect with Nox, so right back to a 3-on-3, something that Aurora has been very good about, and Kenzie has now combined forces as they head right back over to Glyph. JL, Matic trying to take the deal between each other, last to just keep them off as well though. Bomb has been tapped initially, Celta spotted out that there's no one defusing it, no one sticking it. Celta missing shots left, right and center. Well, that just sets up for Laddick to close out with 16 kills now after 16 rounds.
Yeah, some great stuff. We saw some nice flashy AWPing from him and now getting it done on the pistol as well. Key position to hold and suss out, because if they had another attack avenue, that the setup for Aurora would have been more difficult. The plant was for Temple, but taking the swing would have been very exposed to B main. Nice, quick-footed. Set up the util from outside of B. They crunch together. Oh, it's a little awkward. Went for an A-sided stack, all 5 here for Apeks, but it's the wrong side.
Just the wrong XYZ does summarize a lot of things happening over here.
I think a way that I've used to describe some games that go this way, it just feels like, even though Apeks have been doing quite a few things right, I think, when we reflect on some of the teams, their ideas were good, but they would sometimes miss out on timing, so they wouldn't be expecting a play. It just felt like they were a little off rhythm to of Aurora's own. So might be just one of those days at the office.
It do be like that sometimes.
That it do. And listen, coming with US 3 kills. Okay, I think maybe a 4th could have been presented, but like he's able to adapt. He come in with 3 kills. It was a pretty rifle-heavy commitment there from Aurora Gaming, so it's not like those kills are insignificant. Definitely more than you would have expected given Apex's buy. And now in with their own rifles. It has to start here and now after a dreadful first half. Need to find signs of life here on the CT side as well.
Call's been made out to try and get some aggressive play potentially behind the smoke, but they're just going in through. The SMG is going to be helping out with that. Celta is a madman. Flashbang up, but JL is blind. Lucky had his own flashbang to help out. Norweed already preemptively thrown one out to try and anticipate the push that is likely going to be coming through, and they've got the bomb site locked and loaded. Apeks have got to say there's nothing else you can do here.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about that? They just run through a smoke and a Molotov, and they get their way into a double entry. That follow-up flash as well, cutting the rotate. There's not a whole lot that these remaining players could have done. That's a pretty mad play to make, but going through smokes, going through util, Lackey loves that. Even thought a stack. And an exit. Jacob took another swing at it. They are hunting a little bit here, but should be safe to hold on to their own weapons. Oh, Dork, and Jacob was full flash, so one less weapon to bring forward into the follow-up round. Jacob will survive, as Kixon does as well, but I don't think this Apeks team is going to survive for much longer. 14-4.
Looks unlikely. Ops not going to be pulled out for this game unless they start to win right here and now. So you're playing out Anubis without an AWP. And look, it's not the most AWP-heavy map, but it's nice to have it a couple of different angles on the B-bomb side, and sometimes to just change things up in mid as well. Hell, even on A, if you're playing back from heaven, there's some good defensive positions, even if you can't get overly aggressive with it necessarily.
Smoke's a little deep, so they can do something to get some information on house. Notice there shouldn't be anyone close by unless they play close. Oh, volley out. Oh, yeah, definitely going to be capitalized on. That is really unfortunate for him, but didn't have his wits about him. Smoke down from Stiko. Don't know if they're going to challenge through. They've got full access to B as well through spawn. Lackey is making this call for teammates to try and group up with him this direction. Meanwhile, Apeks are pushing 3-man through the underpass into canals, and Selter's holding for it, so even their reaction is being countered, and Selter will double up. In fact,
God.
all 3 falling canals. It's looking pretty harrowing here. 15 accomplished for Aurora.
It feels like anything Apeks does, Aurora already knows what they're going to do before they've even decided it.
More dead men in the canals than the river Styx.
And Hades is going to be coming along to burn their souls pretty soon, it feels like.
Yeah, maybe the wrong mythology, but
Hey, man.
Anubis.
They all cross over.
Yeah, yeah. They all took inspiration from each other, I'm convinced.
Some religion there. Kenzie. Oh, Stiko actually has to be very careful of her head. Lots of push is being made. Information is there, but nothing to make off it. Kicks in. Oh no. Kenzie. 20-6 now, leading the back, and Lackey's found a flying angel, one he is happy to collect upon.
Well, this is somehow worse than what happened on Ancient. We saw long streaks back and forth. 8 more, 10 answered back, then 8 more straight from our Russian team, but they will continue through the upper bracket 2-0 and dominating on their map pick. Apeks looked like a fish out of water. It was rough.
They look like a fish on a frying pan. Forget out of water. They were just getting cooked consistently. I mean, look at Anubis. They've just never been able to fight for mid control. Out of 17 rounds, I mean, obviously out of 20 they get 4. But out of 17, they get 1 as well. There's a single gun round 1 across the entire, basically, map for them.